Welcome to One on One. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be keeping that title for this series, but we're going with it for now. My name is Josh, or Envyerz, and this series is all about bringing on talented musicians and artists. It doesn't even have to be that, just talented people in general that watch my videos or I'm a fan of, and we talk about them as a person and them as a creator. When it comes to music and art, I'm extremely passionate about it. I love talking about it. So with me today, for the very first episode in this series, I have a very special guest. Tell us what you're about, introduce yourself, where you're from, etc.
Hey, what's up? My name is gregNWMN, and I'm based in Southern California. I wouldn't say I'm like any specific kind of artist. I think I just create.
36 hours, no sleep, no rest for the wicked, no rest for the sick. Power napping back to business. Too far just to back down, too deep just to back out. I'm bringing what's new now.
One thing I kind of wanted to talk to you about in this series, and this will probably be a standard for the rest of the series, is just asking, how did you find me, or how did I find you? I know on this case, you asked if you could send me some music through Twitter. I was like, sure, go ahead. I'm all for it. I'm not one to turn down anybody away just because a number is next to my name. And since the original, tweet that you sent out asking me to check out your music, we've had Twitter conversations and you seem very genuine about it. Some dudes just say, hey, check out my music, and then they stop replying or they unfollow you, etc., etc. But is there any particular video that you saw from me, or just tell the people how you found me?
Yeah, I actually ended up stumbling upon, I think it was actually a previous double XL video that you did. Reason being is because I looked up, I was just studying the previous years of the double XL freshman. And so then what ended up happening is somehow through it, your cover art was just, it just stood out. And so I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And so I clicked on it. And then after watching, I guess, that initial video, it kind of pushed me to watch more and see at least what your perspective was on music in general. And I guess as an artist, I mean, you're always looking for somebody who can kind of give you a new perspective, or I guess kind of a new critique or a new vantage point as to how your work is poised, because you have your own perspective as a creator, but getting outside influences is always a positive. So the first thing that I wanted to do is definitely reach out and see, like, this guy seems really unbiased. And it was also the artist that you chose too, because you had like a pretty eclectic list. I mean, you had some of the people who were like one-hit wonder type dudes,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you had very, I guess, creative concept project, concept approach type artists. And I was like, you know what? I think this might be, a cool person to run this by and then see if he rocks with it. So yeah, I just went ahead and shot it to you, and then I was surprised, because most of the time, it is about the numbers to people, or it is about,
Yeah.
The internet footprint, if you will. And I think that's kind of one of the heaviest things that holds us back, bro, to be honest,
And that's one of the reasons why I like making music related content on my channel, and why I wanted to do this. Although I'm not the biggest YouTube channel, I always want to help people that are genuine about it and make something that I like. Music is definitely something to make friends with and to chat it up with, and here we are today. Which leads me into the next question, is how long have you been making music for, and what are the reasons and some I guess inspirations for making the music that you make?
I've been writing for about 8 years. It started with poetry, really. Started with poetry, and it was kind of more of like a self-awareness kind of thing. I was kind of in a place where I just really wanted to express my thoughts, but I didn't really have a way to do it. So I started writing poetry, and then shortly after that, I mean, immediate influences when I first was starting, because I grew up off of reggae music. Like my mom was born in Jamaica, my dad was born in the UK. So all I was growing up to was like reggae and calypso and R&B. Like, so I wasn't allowed to like listen to hip hop. I wasn't allowed to listen to like harder music for a long time. And I guess the first things I caught on to, of course, were like Jay-Z, and then Kanye, Eminem, Dre, and then I kind of just took that into Lupe Fiasco, and then that transitioned to like rock, and I was like heavy into rock for a long time. And I just kind of found my infatuation with music at that point. And so then shortly after that, I kind of like thought to myself, why don't I like pair these to like a beat? Like, I don't know if I can do this, you know what I mean? But let me try. And so then I just kind of took one summer while I was doing this internship at like this tech company, and I would just like write on my lunches to like instrumentals. And I mean, it was trash, you know what I'm saying? Like the first like 4 or 5 songs you do, like you think they're fire, but they're trash.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at my old YouTube videos, man, I could see the same thing.
You're like, you want to delete it, but you're just like, bro, this is where I came from. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. This is a point of reference right now. Yeah, man. So my number one sonic influence, even to date, and it's been this way since almost the beginning of me writing, has been Donald Glover, so Childish Gambino. And I just think because I identify with his story.
Mm-hmm.
I identify with his juxtaposition with, I guess, society, you know, and what it's like to kind of be creative, but at the same time accepted by a creative community, but not necessarily accepted by regular people in a certain way. And I feel like I identified heavily with that.
Pretty stacked list of names there. Cool to hear some of the inspirations and the music you listen to. Moving on though, you have a project out called Adapt and Shift on SoundCloud, and I'm assuming various other media platforms. You want to tell the people what that's about, and you know, just explain it a little bit to them?
Adapt and Shift was kind of like, this is crazy because it's the first time I'm actually saying this, but Adapt and Shift is coming from the same vein as Zealots of Stockholm and Flight of the Navigator from Because of the Internet. Those 2 records specifically just did really, really heavy things for me. I was just in a place in my life where I just loved the vibe of those, and Earn probably. And so those 3 records, I was like, I would love to be able to recreate the introspective, like, just self-awareness, you know what I mean? Because like a lot of people don't know themselves,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't know what they're doing, you know what I mean? They're doing things, they have no idea what they're doing. And so like Adapt and Shift was just a concept I made, which was like, there's an adaptive phase and there's a shift. And the adaptive phase is like you realizing you're in a position to make a choice, and then, which is the name of the first track, and then Shift, which is the name of the last record, is the actual choice being made. So every track in between was kind of like highlights of emotional schizophrenia, like peaks and valleys of like doubt and fear and power and the human element of like what making a choice is, you know?
Yeah. Is there any song in particular that you enjoyed making, or your favorite off the EP?
It's hard, bro. It's hard because I love them all. But
I mean, I could tell you mine if you want to.
Yeah, bro, I'd love to know.
Blackout. I feel like that song in particular stood out to me, and I feel like a lot of people will be able to listen to it. I feel like it's a good song, a first song to listen to you from. So I'll definitely link that in the description below for everyone to go check out.
Yeah.
I really like it, man. It's really good. And you linked me the music video as well. I really enjoyed like the visuals for that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to my homie Mar on that one, and yeah, and Keith makes a track, and the homie True actually. All these dudes are just super hard working guys, man, and they're all friends of mine, and we're just really trying to create like more avant-garde material, bro. You know what I mean? Because like I think people expect 1 or 2 palettes from the West Coast, you know? You're either Kendrick or you're Tyler, the Creator, you know what I mean? Or it's like you just have to fit in this pocket, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, there's no pockets that should exist, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's where Blackout was coming from, was just like, yo, I'm working super hard. I'm not sleeping, and it's kind of more proof to yourself as like time goes on that you really believe in what you're doing, because you're like, bro, like I haven't slept in like 36 hours. Like this is how much I care about this, you know? And I just think that people don't know what you can offer them until you're in the room and they're like, oh, this can offer me. But like it took you, you know what I mean, how long to let me in the room, you know? So if I had a fan base, or if I had people that were like appreciating what I was creating, I would love for this group of people to kind of like be self-aware and like be down to try new things.
And that's a hard thing to do, you know, growing an audience, whether it's music or anything else that you do.
Yeah, bro.
To have an audience, for my example, would be YouTube. It's hard to get people to come back for you rather than what you do, you know, because transparency on the internet and when building a brand, it's very important. It could take you a long time to grow your channel, your fan base, your audience, with being transparent and being, you know, genuine about what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. But although it may take you longer being yourself and all of that, I feel like you'll have more longevity than if you just throw on a hot beat and, you know, make music that everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, you know, it might be a slower method, but it might not, because like transparency could be the next trend, you know what I mean? It could be the next thing. I see what everybody else is doing and I think that's super fresh, and I respect everybody's creative process, you know, but like somebody has to kind of like, you know, draw attention to like a different perspective or a different vantage point of like, there's another way to do this. There's no wrong, there are wrong ways to do it, but there's no definite singular right way to do it. As long as, you know, you're keeping your own integrity throughout it all, you know.
For sure. The last question I have is a question I absolutely hate when people ask me, so I decided I'm going to spring it on whoever I'm talking to with at the time, and that is, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years as an artist, and where do you want to be in life and with the music scene that you're making?
Things change every week, bro. You know what I mean? Things change.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, things change every day, to be honest, you know, like depending upon the situation. Like there's so many explosive things that could happen in 5 years, but ideally where I guess I would want to be in a place where I can actually go out and connect with fans, to be honest, you know, because right now I'm doing everything by myself, you know what I mean? Like I have dope friends I work with, you know, and we're kind of building a network, you know, but I'm self-managed right now. So like I'm focused on like finding representation that's like in the industry that's professional enough to the point where I don't have to micromanage my manager, you know what I mean? I think eventually I just want to be at least one of the people who are like doing what Chance does, or like Kyle, you know what I mean? Like transparency, you know what I mean? You can like I think it's going to be the new thing. Like being you is fresh now.
Now, unfortunately, being you right now, at least, is kind of corny, to be totally honest, right? Do you see that?
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. People want to do all the crazy stuff to it, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, I'm gonna go to this festival. I'm just gonna mosh. I'm just gonna go super hard, like at a Vince Staples show, or like at a Travis Scott show, or you know when Kendrick performs Humble or whatever, you know. But like, then it's gonna take one of those people to like go into an interview and to be like, yeah, I'm just being myself, and then being like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's where I think like the juxtaposition is gonna happen. It's like wait a minute, they're cool and they're being them. I think that at that point, that's probably because I think that right now not enough people know about Kyle to like really think that like, oh, like being yourself is fresh yet. I think it's like really on the big.
Yeah. They think of him as a one-hit wonder, sadly.
Yeah, that's really sad, bro. Because Beautiful Loser is amazing. Because Smile is amazing. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different pieces of his brand that are like really really dope. You know, so I'm sure he's gonna get his shine too. You know, but it's just a matter of like getting in a position where you can finesse, because like who's to say that like you don't necessarily need a hit to be able to like get in the industry, you know what I mean, to like be able to put yourself in a position to actually be seen. Because other from that, if you don't have a hit, who cares? Because there's 80 million songs that already exist. Does anybody need new music? You know what I mean?
Kyle's been out on the internet, and then just this year got on Double XL because of the hit. So I guess that's where the music industry is kind of leading,
Yeah.
where you had to have like at least one relevant track so that you're accepted in it.
Then you're in the field, and then now that you're in the field, it's kind of like now you have the finesse to almost prove the world perspective that looks like, no, I just created that. Like I created Blackout as one facet of my emotion. Like I created this one thing as like the initial aesthetic, but there's like layers to it, you know. And I think it's kind of like now convincing people that, or not even convincing people, but like just creating so that people can understand from what you're releasing that like, yo, I'm a human being, you know what I mean? I'm gonna feel positive, I'm gonna feel negative, you know what I mean? But like we could both go through that together, you know what I'm saying? So like 5 years, definitely just connect with my fans, bro, you know what I mean? 10 years, I just hope to like just be alive, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I mean, people change, like you said, people change every day, every week. If I look back at my YouTube channel, I see the progression, I see the change. I'm stepping it up with the YouTube stuff. Like before, I used to do like gaming videos and all that. I still kind of do want to,
yeah.
but I'm trying to, you know, do it at a more professional level. And I resonate that with your music. You know, as of right now, you're making these. How would you classify your music? Like soulful, I guess. Like sending a message, right?
Yeah, I think of it like from a listener standpoint. Like some people are there for the beat. Some people are there to hear true fuck it up, you know what I mean? And like do some like dope stuff. And some people are there for like lyrics and substance. So like I want that to be in there. Some people are in there just for a message. So I want to put that in there. So like I wanted it to have like very, very dense layers. So like on the 5th and on the 6th listen, they're like, yo, he said X, Y, and Z. And then 2 lines before that, he said X, Y, and Z. Like, that's crazy. Like, I'm still unpacking more information from like this one thing. So I think, yeah, bro. I mean, I'm not even 100% sure like what I would categorize it other than just myself.
Yeah, I mean, best of luck with everything that you do, man. I'll be sure to support. Hopefully this series does well. Hopefully people go check you out. You're a humble dude. I like the sounds that you make. So, any last words?
Yeah, just keep doing you, bro. Keep doing you, because honestly, you're killing it out here, man. And you're extremely underestimated, for real. Like, extremely, extremely underestimated. So just keep doing you. You're doing great.
I appreciate that. I really do. Same to you. That said, gregNWMN, thank you for coming through. People, check out his Adapt and Shift EP on SoundCloud. Any other links that your music's on, by the way, so people can check that out as well?
Yeah. I'm actually on all streaming platforms as well. So you can find Adapt and Shift on like Apple Music or Spotify. You can find it on Tidal as well. You just type in gregNWMN, gregNWMN with no space. And yeah, I just released this record a couple days ago called Supernova Y. And it's kind of like a 2-piece record. And it's all about balance, like I mentioned before. You know what I mean? It's all about kind of like hot and cold, you know? And yeah, what that feels like. So yeah, definitely just check me out.
All the links to his social medias and everything should be in the description for you guys to check out. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
I'm going up straight up. All of them thought they could play us. I'm already in the room. It's Coachella Valley June. Talking 1, 2, 2. Rhyme stanzas all in paradise. They don't know who they playing with. That's what all of them staring right. All the shows are in Celsius. All the flow is automatic. Put it us up in the atlas.